Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you. I'm Meha Bhardwaj Alter and this is Game On. Today on the show, we discuss if India's Asia Cup squad is a good enough squad that can go on to win the tournament. We also look at some of the other key factors that can play a role in the tournament that starts on the 30th of August. Is India on the right track with this squad, knowing that this is more or less the team that will play the World Cup? We have two guests here on the show. Vedam Jaishankar joins us here. Kishan Sarkar joins us here on the show. But let's first put the squad up for you before I come to my guest there. Vedam has just joined us. But Vedam, welcome to you. Before I come to you, let's just put the squad up for everybody. And then I'll just come to you. So the squad itself. You know, it's been 24 hours, more than 24 hours. So we've had some time to look at this squad to, you know, whether really be able to figure out whether this is a balanced enough squad. And we'll discuss all of that on the show. But this is the squad. And from the looks of it, I mean, now that we've seen this, we know that this was the best available squad for the Indian team. I mean, this is the best squad right now. There are some issues there that we'll discuss, but more or less this was the squad expected. Also, India and all the teams in the Asia Cup have the luxury of taking 17 players. They also have one travelling reserve. So in that sense, you know, the selection was slightly easier than it will be for the World Cup. But yes, big talking points from there is that KL Rahul and Shreyas Iyer, both of them are fit. So they are in the squad. KL Rahul is carrying a niggle, which is likely to get better in a few days' time. But he may not be playing the first 2 to 3 games. That's what Ajit Agarkar said in the Asia Cup. So he might be sitting out of the India-Pakistan game and possibly the India-Nepal game as well. Then the other big talking point is Kuldeep Yadav is there, but there is no Yuzvendra Chahal. A lot of people had been saying that, you know, will the team management go in with Kulcha? But it looks like Yuzvendra Chahal is not somebody the team management is favouring at the moment, so he is not part of this squad. Jasprit Bumrah is fit. He proved his match fitness in the 2 T20Is that he captained in Ireland. India play the third T20I tomorrow. Him along with Prasidh Krishna, both are there, so they're match fit. They're there in the squad, which is good news for India. It'll now come down to their bowling rhythm, whether they'll be able to bowl those 10 overs in the Asia Cup and whether they can be consistent enough. Hardik Pandya has been made the vice captain. Is that the right move? Will Hardik Pandya bowl his quota of 10 overs? That's another big question. Tilak Varma, he's been fast-tracked. He's yet to make his debut, but he already finds himself in that list. Is that the right choice? Did the selectors rush him? We'll discuss this. There have been some former greats who've come out and spoken about what they think of Tilak Varma's inclusion in the squad as well. But let's, without further ado, go right across to Vedam Jaishankar. It's been 24 hours, more than 24 hours, Vedam. So we've had some time to look at this squad to really see whether this was the best team that was available, given the resources they had at hand. And when I look at it, it looks like this was the best they could do.
Hi Meha, I agree with you on that score totally, because as I can see this, maybe we could have used a Jaiswal, but otherwise, yes, this is maybe the best squad that we could have pushed through. Now, what is important for us? Are we looking at the Ireland series, which is important, or the Asian Games, or the Asia Cup, or the World Cup? You know, right. All these could be preparations for the World Cup. Of course, World Cup is number 1. Maybe in the pecking order, Asia Cup could be number 2. So I think we need to get a lot of opportunities going. Especially you mentioned Tilak Varma. I think he needs to get all the opportunities going because he looks like a class player. And, you know, there's no way of confirming it unless you push him down into the deep end and see how he holds up. And if he holds up very well, then we would have another brilliant batsman. Even with KL Rahul, and Shreyas Iyer, maybe this is the best time to try them out really in competitive cricket and find out if they have the nose or if they are fit enough to, serve India well for the World Cup. Otherwise, I think even if you look at it in any other way, I think the Asia Cup would be an absolute training ground for all the players. All the 14, 15 players who might get to play. I'm not sure if we'll get all 17 to play. Right. I think maybe 14 would play. Maximum 15, I don't see beyond that. So, but it's a good opportunity to ensure that all of them do get a game, whether it's against Nepal or against Pakistan or anybody. Yeah. And then we can assess and gauge how many of them should really be there for the World Cup. So I look at it that way. And Chahal, again, you mentioned. Yeah. I think Chahal has sorted out. And even otherwise, as we look at it, I think Asians are good players of spin bowling, especially Sri Lanka, especially Pakistan, and even Afghanistan. Afghanistan is doing very well of late. And they've got a brilliant set of spinners. Yeah. And they play very aggressively. So 50 overs cricket is not exactly 20 overs cricket. And it needs a lot of staying power. I think we are taking a chance with Surya Yadav because I don't see too much of his record. Maybe, like again I said, this is an opportunity for him to show that he is the one-day player that we're looking for and not just a slam-bam 20-over version.
Okay, so is this the most balanced squad? We also have Kishan Sarkar who joins us here. He was there at the press conference. The one thing I want to ask you, Kishan, is that who do you think is making most of the decisions? Is it the team management, Rohit Sharma and Rahul Dravid? Or is there a say of, or how much of a say did Ajit Agarkar have in choosing that squad?
Well, Neha, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
What I feel is Ajit Agarkar does have a significant say. He is not a lightweight selector, but he is just very new. As you must have heard Rohit say that Ajit is new, I am updating him. I am keeping him updated. So I believe that he has just joined a month. Probably the team has gone through a process. They have had a pattern of selections. So obviously, to be in sync, you first need to know what's happening. Then probably you can spread your wings and take your own decision. In all good companies, this happens in leadership roles. You'll first listen, you'll first probably observe what's happening, and then you'll take your own informed decision from that perspective. So I believe in case of Ajit Agarkar also, he, at this point of time, he's keeping a tab. Obviously, he's giving his inputs. I don't believe that he's not giving his inputs, but he's come what? Just a month back? Not even a month back. Yeah, just a month back. West Indies was his first assignment. So keeping that in mind, I think Rohit and Rahul Dravid must have taken the informed calls. And in any case, if you look at the team, Neha, me and you, are we surprised by any chance? Like the last time when we were together on air, we spoke about the 19 I gave. Out of the 19, Jaydev Unadkat has been sent for, I believe, county cricket. Obviously, he's not meant for white ball, 50 over. And the second is Mukesh Kumar, who I don't think is also right now with Prasidh Krishna coming back with that extra pace, is being thought as a replacement. So, and Mukesh Kumar is in any case going to play the Asian Games.
Okay.
So 17 are there, and these are the 17, like we are not surprised. Yes, Yuzvendra, Chahal, you can argue, but at the end of the day, Akshar Patel has better batting choice. They've gone for someone possibly who is a very decent bat at number 8 and can also be used as a floater, as Rohit said, that he can, as a left-hander, he can be a disruptor against spinners. It didn't work out in West Indies, but they're hoping against hope that if Jadeja someday is under the weather or sustains an injury, then probably Akshar will play that role. Akshar will play that role.
Okay. No, so I've got to ask this question to all of you who are watching. Do you think this is a balanced squad? Do you think this is the best squad that India could have chosen? I also want to put this question to you. Do you think the Indian team are the favorites to win the Asia Cup with this squad? Do let us know in the comment section below as we continue this conversation. Of course, the focus, the spotlight really has been on the return of KL Rahul and Shreyas Iyer, though KL Rahul still has a niggle. So like I said, he might be missing the first 2 games in the Asia Cup. Now, there is already this narrative that, you know, they've not got any match time. Yes, they may be fit, but they haven't played a match in a while. Is it okay to throw them in the deep end? Is it okay to put them there in the first match, in a crucial match against Pakistan in the Asia Cup? That's the question that I'll be putting to Vedam as well as to Kishan. But first, let's look at what Sunil Gavaskar, the legendary Sunil Gavaskar, has had to say on the issue. He was asked this question as well about, you know, little game time for some of the players, and this is what he's saying. He's saying worry is generally about bowlers. If they've not got any game time before any big tournament, I think they should have miles under their belts, as they say, in the sense that they should have bowled a few overs in a competitive atmosphere in a big game kind of situation. Now you've seen Jasprit Bumrah having bowled 8 overs, bowled really well, looking good, perhaps happy to see him. Don't think batters need that kind of game time. They've done their fitness. I don't think for batters it is that important. For bowlers, you need to test them in matches before you pick them in these matches. So let me then go across to Kishan and take a reaction on that. Kishan, one good thing is, and I think all of India wanted Jasprit Bumrah to be fit. We saw that there was no drop in pace. He was consistent. He bowled well. He got wickets, which was what I think all of us wanted before the Asia Cup and before the World Cup, right? So Prasidh Krishna and Jasprit Bumrah, 2 bowlers that we wanted to have a look at, that the selectors wanted to have a look at in this Ireland series. Both were impressive in their comebacks. But nobody has seen KL Rahul and Shreyas Iyer and what their comeback would be like. Is it okay to put them in a high pressure game like India-Pakistan? Of course, KL Rahul might be missing that one. I'll come to who should be replacing him in that match. But if they do play, is that taking a risk?
Yeah, it is taking a risk, Maya, but that's hardly you can do anything about it. About the injuries is something that's not in anyone's control.
Right.
So, like this is the only tournament probably where you had a chance to check them out. And after that, Australia series, the 3-match bilateral series would have been too late to check where they stand vis-a-vis in terms of fitness. Now, what I have heard about KL Rahul is that this is a niggle. This is not a fitness-related injury like a hamstring or a calf or a back. It is a niggle he has sustained while squatting. My only worry is that if he has sustained a niggle while squatting, that means that he is having issues while keeping wickets. And may I mind it, this is not a 20-over match.
Yeah.
It's a 50-over match, means you have to squat for 300 times. And also, probably 30 overs will be bowled by the spinners. Even if I take into account that against pacers, you have seen Dhoni or other keepers, they wouldn't squat full when you are keeping to the pacers behind. But in case of keeping to Jadeja or keeping to Kuldeep, you will squat full, and that will be around 20 to 30 overs of spin bowling per match we are expecting. So, is he in a position? Is he in that position where he can squat? Probably first keep for 50 overs, and then
go out and
if need be back for 30 overs. If it's 30 for 3. In 10 overs, then batting for maybe 40 overs. So 90 overs, and you have to play 9 matches, and obviously they will have to, for Rahul and Shreyas, it's more imperative that they play a lot of matches, some practice matches and bilaterals. So where they stand, that is the question, but this was the best they could have done. And obviously 17-member squad that ACC has allowed for this tournament gives them that opportunity to check their fitness out. KL, what is surprising for me is that we were all told that Shreyas Iyer is probably behind in the race to be fit. But now we hear that Shreyas Iyer has become 100% fit. That is a good thing, that possibly solves your problem of number 4. provided KL Rahul plays. But if KL Rahul doesn't play, then there is an issue where do you want to play Ishan Kishan? Ishan Kishan is more of an opener. So the best position you can get for him is either you open with him and put Gill at number 3, or you put Ishan at number 3, so that there is a possibility that if a wicket falls, he bats in the power play and takes that advantage of the infield. Virat Kohli then has to come at number 4, as Ravi Shastri has said. So that is
interesting.
No,
you're absolutely right. Go ahead.
Yeah. One of the selectors who was there during the 2019 World Cup panel, I was speaking to him. He said that most of you do not know, Virat Kohli, during some practice matches before the 2019 World Cup, some matches he was tried at number 4. And he didn't feel comfortable batting at number 4. This is something that this happened 2 years back. Now Rohit Sharma has said that everybody needs to be flexible. But again, with that he has said a rider that probably the top 3 positions are non-negotiable. He's talking about 4, 5, 6, 7 and a bit of flexibility over there. So interesting days are there.
Absolutely.
Because now both of them are coming up. But KL Rahul keeps me worried. And they are saying a niggle.
No, but which is a valid question, because this is a valid question, and this is a valid point that you've raised, is that KL Rahul is not just going in as a batter, he is your wicketkeeper batter, Vedam, right? And if there is a niggle, and if you just heard Kishan, he said that, he had a niggle while squatting, which then brings us to this question: can he keep wickets in a 50-over match? Is he fit enough to do that and then come out and bat? And which is an extremely valid point, which we've also spoken about earlier on the show. So, are we taking a risk then with KL Rahul specifically? And also, because the replacement that you've got for him in Ishan Kishan, you don't have a place for him in that 11 in case KL Rahul doesn't play, because you don't want to play him in the middle order. You want to keep him as an opener, but we already have 2 openers. So what can be the solution? I mean, I was reading an article where Akash Chopra had said that drop Shubman Gill. That's a possibility. Do you see that happening at all?
See, there are lots of ifs and buts about this. But let's understand, any sportsman in any game, is prone to injury at any time, It can be the first ball of a 50-over game. You could pull a muscle and you could be out of the game. So if Rahul has got an eagle right now, yes, there will be time for him to work on it and get fit as quickly as possible. But because he's got an eagle, then look, the selectors also know that, the NCA knows that, so they're working on it. If they don't think it was very serious, if it was very serious, yes, he wouldn't have been there. But look what we need. For a 50-over game, you need long-distance players, batsmen who can bat the course, At least there should be 3 or 4 batsmen who could, who play 40 to 50 overs. And I think KL Rahul is right there, along with Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. Maybe even Shreyas Iyer can do that role. But I can't see a Suryakumar Yadav coming and playing 50 overs, or Ishan Kishan. These are guys who would be very good with cameos. They are not the ones who really play 50 overs, 40 overs. So you need KL Rahul to be firing. They've given him the chance. But like I said earlier, which is the main tournament, this one or the World Cup? If you're getting him primed for the World Cup, then this is absolutely the greatest possible opportunity for you to give him. If you had somebody else, maybe yes. But injuries are part and parcel of the game. My only worry again, like I mentioned yesterday, was how many people are we going to carry who are not competitively fit? You need to be competitively fit. It's not just a question of being fit in the net. You need to be competitively fit. And this is a great opportunity for somebody like KL Rahul, when he gets his chance to play at the Asia Cup, to be competitively fit for the World Cup. I think World Cup should be your number 1 target. Maybe this could be your number 2 target. I'm not saying that you should ignore this, but I think the very fact that you have 17 players
Yeah.
it gives you a lot of headroom, to pick and choose and work on it. And as far as the players' positions are concerned, I mean, any cricketer or any sportsman will tell you that he needs a fixed position. It's okay once in a way to move them up and down the order or work them on a band. Similar with a bowler, they need to know what they are doing. And that's the confidence that you inspire into a player, saying that this is your role, this is what you would do. And he is also mentally and physically prepared for it. Being mentally prepared is very, very important in sports. It can never be underestimated. And saying that anybody can bat anywhere, anybody can bowl anywhere,
Well,
I think that's quite a ridiculous statement.
but that's the thing. While Ajit Agarkar, and there was a bit of banter happening between the two of them, which was nice to see. It was finally, like I said yesterday, it was good to see that the chief selector and the captain of the Indian team sat down and addressed the media, took all the questions, answered them patiently. But yeah, there was a bit of banter there, and Rohit Sharma on this flexibility issue, Vedam, Rohit Sharma said, "नहीं, मैं समझाता हूँ." After Ajit Agarkar had put his point forth, he says, "नहीं, मैं समझाता हूँ अच्छे से." And then he went on and said, "You're not playing for the club, you're playing," which is something that Rohit Sharma has spoken about earlier as well. You're not playing for the club, you're playing for the country. You need to be more flexible. You need to be able to come, be prepared to bat at any place in the team. So, but just coming back to what you were saying about KL Rahul and his fitness, and if he is not fit, Ishan Kishan, that is another problem, because Ishan Kishan's been really taken as your wicketkeeper, but as an opener. So what should they do? Akash Chopra also had this to say. Let's put that up, and it's a valid point with Sanju Samson. And he says Sanju Samson's fans and Sanju Samson himself might consider themselves slightly unlucky, because his performances are good in ODIs as of now as well. He has an average of over 50, and he scored a 50 in the West Indies also. There's no doubt that he plays well. He has a little work experience as well. To be honest, my initial thought was that if a wicketkeeper has to play in the middle order, he says Sanju Samson is definitely the second option after KL Rahul. However, if a place can be created as an opener, then he says Ishan Kishan, without a shadow of doubt, is your second wicketkeeper. And it's interesting, and the thing is, it confused me yesterday as well, Kishan, because your chief selector went on to say that no, that's why we have Sanju Samson in the squad. He said that because we know that KL Rahul is carrying a niggle, that's why we have Sanju Samson in the squad. But you don't have Sanju Samson in the squad. He is one of your travelling reserves. Should they have taken Sanju Samson in place of Suryakumar Yadav?
I don't think so, because Sanju and Surya's spots are different. Here you are choosing players per spot. Sanju is not just being seen as a specialist batter cum finisher. Surya is being seen as a specialist batter cum finisher who will probably not get into the first 11 right there, but maybe if there is a possibility they will squeeze him in, because his role has now been, I believe, identified, despite the fact that he has underwhelming average in ODIs, which in fact he is the first one to admit very manly that it's not great. But where they're seeing Surya is between overs 35 and 50. They are seeing Surya as a T20 enforcer in a 50 over format for 15 overs, between overs 35 and 50, where he fits the bill perfectly, where he doesn't need to think that he has to play 50 overs. He thinks like a T20 game, and that maneuvering no one does better than Surya in world cricket. So just don't go by Surya's average, because just like Rohit Sharma's average during the first few years was not great. People went by his potential. Things suddenly turned on its head in 2013 in Ranchi, when for the first time MSD got him to open, and it's like he scored an 80 plus, and the rest is history. 2013 England Champions Trophy happened, and we got Rohit Sharma, the white ball legend that we have right now. So if they have identified Suryakumar's role as number 6 or 7 for that 15 over slot, then let's go with that. because
Yeah.
Suryakumar Yadav has that capability to change the game. And
can I tell you,
between
can I say something? I'm sorry, I'm just going to cut you through. Just listen to me. My problem is them not being able to identify this earlier. You've tried Suryakumar Yadav at different places. Now suddenly just before the Asia Cup, you've realized, oh wow, he can be our finisher. Did you not know that he's not meant to be your ODI player the way you want him to be? That's the other problem. Because you've tried people like Akshar Patel at number 4 when you had very limited opportunities to try some of your players. You know, that's where I feel like there is a bit of muddled thinking there. Which is the same with Suryakumar Yadav. You've tried him as an opener, you've tried him at 3, you've tried him at 4, now you're trying him at 6. So
very valid point, valid point, Neha. But the thing is that what I was talking about Rohit Sharma, it took, I think, 70. I think Sachin Tendulkar opened for the first time after how many matches? I think after 50-60 matches, they got Sachin Tendulkar to open for India. Like Rohit Sharma also, I believe, at least played 75-80 odd matches before he first opened for India. So I'm just trying to say that probably it took them 20 matches to figure that Suryakumar Yadav is probably not your number 3, 4 or 5. Well, 4 or 5. There was 3 Virat Kohli is always playing. So I would give it to them, but Surya is in any case may are not starting in the 11. If today me, you and Vedam sir sit together and pick up 11, Surya will not feature now, right away in that 11. So I wouldn't be too bothered about Surya. I am rather bothered about Ishan Kishan's batting position because Sanju, Samson, because the KL Rahul might not be, we actually do not know the extent of the injury. Niggle or no niggle, we haven't got. Ajit Agarkar said that BCCI will update us, but I can trust that we will not get that update really soon. One of the journalists, pursuing journalists will get something.
So here's my question then to both of you. Ishan Kishan in the middle order or Sanju Samson in the middle order if KL Rahul doesn't play? Who is a better choice?
I would straight away go with Sanju Samson because I think he's got a lot of potential, you know. And if you really look at this Indian team, we don't have power hitters. And Sanju Samson is somebody who can hit the ball and hit the ball very well. If you're saying Sanju Samson was unlucky not to get into the 16 or 15 or whatever, I would say that Suryakumar Yadav was lucky to get it. Because if you go really by the records and what both players have done, I think Sanju Samson has done a lot more than Suryakumar Yadav has. You're taking a chance with Suryakumar Yadav. You're hoping that, you know, he will come in the 35th or 40th over and up the ante. But, I mean, it's a big chance because if you look at his past record, he hasn't done it. And let's not forget his age. You know, at 30, 32 or whatever he is, you know, there are doubts which are cropping in. It's not like a Sachin Tendulkar or a Virat Kohli who were, you know, 22, 23, 24 at that time. You know, you're young and you're willing to take on the world. But as you grow older, you're not sure about yourself. And if you don't have the record, if you don't have the runs behind you, then it becomes that much tougher. And I don't know whether Suryakumar Yadav was a good choice at all in the first place. Maybe he will not be playing in the 11, but maybe he's being used as a cover for somebody else. But if you're looking between Ishan Kishan and Sanju Samson, I would still go with Sanju Samson because he can really hit the ball, whether it's a fast bowler or spinner. He can hit the ball, and you need somebody, some batsman right there who can hurt the bowlers. You know, it's not just pushing the ball off the square. You need to hurt the bowlers, and you need a batsman who is capable of that. And the opposition will be so wary of such a batsman that they could actually use up their best bowlers against him, which will work, you know, better for the whole team. I'm talking about the Indian team. It will work well for them if somebody is willing to use their best bowlers. But on the other hand, if you have a very defensive batsman, they will try and push 2-3 overs from the non-regular bowlers. So I think there's a lot of strategy that needs to be played. Ishan Kishan, if he comes good, very good, because he's got youth on his side. He's a left-hander. Maybe he doesn't have the reach that others have. But unless you throw him in the deep end, you're not going to really find out, because playing and scoring in IPL, that's not really a yardstick at all.
Okay, Kishan, do you want to also take the same question? Ishan in the middle order versus Sanju Samson in the middle order?
Yeah, I would take that question. There are two parts to it. Ishan can bat in the top 3, nowhere else. Because I don't think he is a great player or a great at ticking the scoreboard in the middle overs against quality spinners. One thing that Ashwin said in his YouTube channel, there aren't too many quality off-break bowlers in all teams. Probably there is Moeen Ali, and apart from that, you wouldn't find too many off-break options for taking the ball away from the left-hander, so that's an advantage. But if you're talking about the middle order, I think Suryakumar Yadav, is his place still fixed? I still do not know. If Tilak Varma gets an opportunity and between September 5 and 27 gets an opportunity to do something, you might see Tilak Varma as that number 6 extra batter, and also he's a left-handed in that 15 and not Suryakumar Yadav. Sanju Samson's fight is with KL Rahul, whether KL Rahul is ultimately fit or not. Sanju Samson's fight is not with Suryakumar Yadav, mind it. Because Sanju Samson, if he bats, will bat in the top 5.
Yeah,
The
no,
fight
I get that.
for that slot is between Surya and Tilak Varma. Now, Tilak Varma can only walk in if he's given enough chances in the 6 matches, if you happen to play the final, if he gets that chance.
Yeah.
Like Nepal will not be a yardstick. If he scores a 100 or 60 balls against Nepal, good for him. But that will not be a yardstick whether he's good enough. The yardstick will be against Shaheen Shah, Naseem Shah, Haris Rauf.
Yeah.
There only that is, and also maybe against Lahiru Kumara and that Sri Lankan attack, maybe against Rashid and Mujib and probably Fazlul Haq Farooqui. Afghanistan, Nepal, I'm discounting them.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So that,
good point.
That is how I look at it. It's Surya versus Tilak for me.
Okay.
But Surya is still ahead.
But what a story this has been about Tilak Varma. Who would have thought 6 weeks back that Tilak Varma would be part of India's Asia Cup squad? But he's very happy. He's been given an opportunity. Whether he will debut in the Asia Cup, it's for us to wait and watch out for. But this is what he had to say after being selected for the Asia Cup. He is in Ireland, of course, playing the 3 T20Is. Hasn't done much in the 2 T20Is that he's played. Tomorrow is the 3rd one, but he says, I'm really confident playing one-day cricket. I've done well in list A cricket for my state and at under 19 level. I've done well. I'm confident that I can do well in ODIs. I never dreamed that I would be debuting directly in the Asia Cup, that too in the one-day side. I was always dreaming that I would debut for India in ODIs, but it's a big thing for me, he said. I always dreamed of this, like debuting for India in ODIs, that too in a single year. I got my T20I debut and suddenly in the next month, I'm just getting a call for the Asia Cup. So yeah, it is one of my dreams and I'm just preparing for it. And it is quite, I mean, these stories of debuts, this recently have been fantastic, Vedam. I mean, be it Yashasvi Jaiswal, Tilak Varma as well. You know, we know that both these players, they look like they are India's, future 3 format players. We know that, right, in the way they're playing. But Tilak Varma in the Asia Cup, which means that he's very much in India's World Cup plans if he gets opportunities here and plays even 1 or 2 innings of significance. That's how much India wants a left-hander in the top 5. And what he's shown is that temperament of batting, be it aggressively or sometimes holding back. What do you make of his selection? Do you think maybe put him, in a difficult situation, like give him a debut in India-Pakistan in case KL Rahul doesn't play?
See, we have to see the Indian psyche, especially where batsmen are concerned. You can go back in time. It can be J.R. Vishwanath or Sunil Gavaskar or Sachin Tendulkar or Mohammad Azharuddin, Rahul Dravid, Lakshman, any of them. Most of these batsmen who have come good, I'm saying most of them, have been brought in at a very young age when they were raw. But what happens, the way we plan our cricket is when you are young, you have youth and arrogance on your side. Of course, you have a certain amount of ability. You are not the complete package yet. But because you're young, because you're willing to learn, and because you're willing to travel the distance, we push a lot of young batsmen into it. This formula has not worked with young bowlers, whether it's Maninder Singh or Sivaramakrishnan or Hirwani or a whole lot of them. It's not worked with young bowlers. A bowler should get hammered. Only then he gets a lot of maturity. He can take a pasting, he can take a beating. But batting is a little different. You need to push a young batsman. He might fail, but I think when you get somebody like Tilak Varma or even Jaiswal, you know that they have it in them. They have the quality. It's just a question of, you get a lucky break here and there. You spoke about that Ireland match. That first match, anybody could have got out like that, down the leg side, it just glowed, Anybody could have got out. You need certain amount of luck. The ability is there. The youth is there. Everything is going well, and I think this is the right time. You must strike when this iron is hot, and you must push these young batsmen quickly. And the track record of so many of them, including of course Virat Kohli, is that they have been pushed at the right age, at a young age, and it doesn't matter who the opposition is, because when you're at that age, at a young age, you're willing to back yourself against anybody, whoever the bowler is. You're willing to back yourself. Sometimes it comes good, and often if that comes good, then you have a world beater. And I think Tilak Varma has everything going for him, and I think he should be back. He should be in the 11, and he should go maybe number 4, number 5, but he must be pushed, persisted with, and you have a winner here.
Okay, Gautam Gambhir agrees with you. He said this when he was asked about Tilak Varma's selection. He says the players who are in form need to be picked rather than those who are not. Let it be Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul or anybody. He goes on to add, if Tilak Varma, if he is in better form than someone, if Suryakumar Yadav is in better form than Shreyas Iyer or KL Rahul, or Ishan Kishan, then you need to start with that player, because the World Cup comes once in 4 years. And then he goes on to say that you don't go and see who is a front runner or not, who is in the best form after the Asia Cup and the Australia series. Just as Rohit Sharma has said, there is no guarantee for anybody's position. It is great to have Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul back from injury, but they will need to perform if they want to get in the starting lineup of the squad. And this is where my problem is, Kishan, where you are trying two players who you are really banking on succeeding. If KL Rahul and Shreyas Iyer do not succeed in the Asia Cup, then you have serious problems in that squad.
Yeah, you too. Unfortunately, I cannot but agree with you, Neha, that you'll then have serious problems. But possibly then, since you have committed to the shot, you have to complete the shot. You have to persist with them. And like MS Dhoni used to do, whatever the world said, he didn't mind. Like they have the future captain, the captains who have come after that, Virat or Rohit, they have inculcated the same thing. There is a bullishness that if I am sticking to someone, I'll stick to that plan and go. We'll not go here and there looking for other options. We'll stick to that. So, and they believe that these are proven performers, and if they have done well, they deserve and it's an injury that had got them out of the side. In comeback, they deserve that fair go. But yes, it's the World Cup time. You have 11 matches. So 11 matches is a lot of matches. But KL Rahul worries me. Shreyas Iyer, not so. I go by what the chairman of selectors is telling a press conference of 80 people, that he is completely fit. If he is completely fit, then fine. Shreyas Iyer is a fabulous player of spin bowling. He can control those middle overs. He has that ability. So I am not that worried about number 4. But if KL Rahul is not playing, then yes, there is a worry. Then where do you fit? If it's the number 5 you're looking at, then Sanju, Samson is a better choice. But then you are doing a lot of disservice to Ishan Kishan. Because then why did you play him at the top of the order in West Indies? That is one question that still baffles me. That if you wanted Ishan Kishan so badly, why didn't you try him? If you have, if you even
in
tried
the middle order
Patel at number 4, why didn't you try Ishan Kishan at 4? Just to be on the safer side, that if you don't get KL, you can fix Ishan Kishan over there, or at least have an idea, have an inkling that whether Ishan Kishan versus Sanju Samson thing, how it works. Number 5, I agree with Vedam sir that if KL is not fit, then actually you have to drop Ishan Kishan. Shubman Gill dropping, that's an outrageous kind of a theory. Whoever has given it, even if it's a reputed player, that's an outrageous theory. I don't even go well. Yes, there are certain issues with Shubman Gill. He plays with the hands. There is some feet movement problem, but those are problems that he will face abroad. Those are not the problems that he will face in India. He will be a demon kind of a player in India, and with time he will be a great player abroad also. Because he will be your future India captain. He will be your future India captain maybe 1.5, 2 years from now. He will be a candidate until and unless something seriously goes wrong, which I don't see. He has a very stable head on his shoulder and good people around him to guide him, which is very necessary for 21, 22-year-olds who are earning insane money. These youngsters need to be guided. He has a very good set of people around him, what I gather. So, Shubman Gill dropping is a no-no for me. Then it happens with Ishan Kishan that Ishan and Sanju, you pick Sanju. But then 350s, another couple of 50, I think he also did well in one of the T20s. So he scored a 50 in the test match. So aren't you doing a disservice to Ishan Kishan? You gave him a chance. He performed where he was given a chance. And then you drop him because you are looking at him at entirely different slot and where he's not fitting. That is one issue for me. But everything gets solved if KL Rahul is fit and fine. It is solved. Because then I believe whether KL Rahul scores 5 or 15, KL Rahul is going to start for you in the World Cup. Don't go by those scores in the Asia Cup or the Australia series matches. That will mean nothing. Like we can have debates till cows come.
No, I know.
But KL Rahul will be starting.
Well, the other thing is, what if KL Rahul is fit to play as a pure batsman and cannot keep wickets? That will make things even more complicated. Whether India will then play him as just as a batter and then get somebody else to keep wickets. You don't think so? Okay, because I think the whole...
I don't think so.
Okay. The other thing that everybody has been talking about is a lack of off spinner. How big a difference would that be? Let's start with Vedam. I know that Ravi Ashwin hasn't played an ODI in a while, but we also know how Ravi Chandran Ashwin has this knack of changing the game around. We also know, every time he's been left out, of course, this I'm talking about Test cricket, that in the hindsight is seen as the worst mistake that India made. But having said all of that, a very sharp cricketer, sharp bowler, the variations he has, he'll do all his homework when he'll come into the World Cup. I know they didn't even consider his name. They said, if Yuzvendra Chahal is not fitting in, how are we going to fit in Ravi Chandran Ashwin? But did India miss a trick there?
I don't think so, because the rules of the game are different now. When you have just 4 fielders in the outfield, it's difficult to fit in an off spinner, especially someone coming into a right-hand batsman. You can't have a long on, a deep mid wicket in the square leg. Straight away, that's not possible. And that is where an off spinner becomes a problem. If at all, maybe somebody like Washington Sundar, if he was fit and in fine rhythm, you could have pushed him through. Because he is somebody, who bowls at 100, 110 kilometers per hour. So they could have used him. But I don't think Ravi Chandran Ashwin will fit into any ODI cricket at all. Because especially between that 11th and 40th over when they're going to go after him, I don't think he can manage that. And no off spinner can. And that's why most teams don't have an off spinner unless he's got some quirk in his action and he can get away with it. You can't have a clean off spinner playing at all.
Okay, but Washington Sundar is fit. That's the other thing. He's fit. He's in Ireland. He's been chosen in the Asian Games, but of course he doesn't find his name in this Asia Cup squad. But gentlemen, completely out of time. Thank you so much, Vedam Jaishankar and Kushan Sarkar, for joining us here. There is something big happening at the moment, which is Indian fans are all cheering for the teenage chess prodigy Praggnanandhaa R, fondly known as Pragg, as he takes on five-time world champion Magnus Carlsen for the world #1 title on Tuesday at the FIDE World Cup in Baku, just today. And that match is on. Praggnanandhaa defeated world #3 Fabiano Caruana and stormed into the final of the World Cup. He beat Caruana via the tiebreaker to seal his entry into the final on Monday. After two classical games on Saturday and Sunday, and Monday's two rapid games ended in draws, the Indian managed to defeat the American GM in the third game of the tiebreak to put 1 foot into the final. He then shut the door on Caruana in the final tiebreak game to seal a spot against Magnus Carlsen. The Chennai-born teenager is the first after Viswanathan Anand to enter the finals of a World Cup. At 16, he took the world by storm, beating Carlsen, and then, in fact, at that time became the youngest to do so. Then he started this trend of chess in India. That, in fact, started the trend of chess in India, which has only increased in the recent times. And this World Cup in Baku has been phenomenal for Indian chess, with 4 Indians making it to the quarterfinals. And Pragg has taken it a step further, beating world #2 and world #3 along the way to enter the finals. All of these last 3 wins have come via tiebreakers. And you know, how big the defeat was against the way he beat, in fact, Nakamura. Carlsen, he was playing his game. He got up in the middle of that game to walk up to Pragg and congratulate him on his win. So they're good friends. In fact, according to his coach RB Ramesh, Magnus Carlsen has a soft corner for Pragg, and since he was one of the first prodigies to be doing well, Magnus realizes how good he is. In one of the earlier games that they were playing against each other, Magnus in fact offered him a draw, and he refused. And Pragg's fighting spirit, that impressed Magnus Carlsen. So let's see if Pragg's fighting spirit takes him to his first World Cup title against the legendary Magnus Carlsen. We'll get you all the latest from that FIDE World Cup on News 9. Time for us to head into a break. On the other side, News 9 Plus special documentary, Small is Big, Survive, Revive and Thrive. Thanks for watching.
With all this gear, you must be wondering if I'm climbing a mountain. Well, let me give you a wider look of this place. This is Asia's largest mountain of shame.
A mountain of waste, almost the height of the Qutub Minar.
When you enter capital cities of some of the biggest countries in the world, you don't have 3 garbage mountains waiting to welcome you, depending on whichever side of the city you enter from.
The thing is that a lot of times we talk about landfills only when there's a fire at the landfill. You need to understand that a landfill is at fire almost throughout the year. It's only when the firefighters are not able to douse the fire is when it actually catches the nation's attention, the city's attention, or media attention.
The towering landfills worsen one of Delhi's biggest problems: pollution.
यहाँ पर आप रात को आओ, दिन में आओ, आप 1 घंटे बैठ नहीं सकते बाहर। इतनी धूल, प्रदूषण, महक, आप खाना भी नहीं खा